Hi, this is Andrew Moore Crispin, and welcome back to How Do I Use Windows Phone 7 on Butterscotch.com. Today we're taking a look at a few battery-saving tips to make the most out of the battery on your Windows Phone 7 hardware. So first things first, we're going to want to be in the settings menu. Access that here. So now the first tip is to choose a dark theme. So we'll go into theme here. You can see here we have background. We can choose between light or dark. It does default to dark. Light might be is a little bit kind of friendlier, but the dark scheme actually will save your battery. Not really. It's kind of a negligible savings on an LCD screen like this one. However, when Windows Phone 7 hardware comes out using OLED screens, this dark setting will actually save you a lot of battery life. So the next tip is to turn off any connections that you're not currently using. So obviously you're going to want to, it is a phone, so you're going to want to keep your phone powered up and running. However, if you're not even considering going online to check your email or anything like that, you can actually go into your cellular data here and turn the connection off shortly. I personally don't like doing that, but what you can do is you can go in and turn off, if you're not in range of a Wi-Fi hotspot, a home Wi-Fi hotspot, you can go in here and turn off Wi-Fi. So this is really handy if you're, for example, walking around town, not going to have access to a point to charge up your phone for a while, and if you're doing anything online, it's going to be using the cellular data connection, a good idea to turn off your Wi-Fi. Another tip is to always power down Bluetooth when you're not using it. So in this case, we're actually paired up with a Bluetooth headset, but we're not currently using it, so we're just going to turn Bluetooth off. Now, a lot of these tips don't have a massive effect on your battery life, but you will see a cumulative effect if you enact a few of them. So the next thing we're going to do is turn down the brightness on our screen. So we'll go into brightness here. Now, choosing the automatically adjust system does give you kind of the best balance of power savings and actual usability. So basically, if we're in a bright situation like we are in the studio here with bright light shining onto the light sensor, which is found up here, it'll actually dial up the screen brightness. Same thing if you're out in direct sunlight. If it's dark outside, then it'll actually dim the screen down. However, we can choose to turn off automatically adjust the screen. Especially handy if we know that our battery is getting really low. We can just turn the screen down to low. It doesn't make a massive difference in usability, but you can see there the screen is a little bit dimmer. Now, as it is a smartphone, it's basically doing a lot of data syncing in the background. So if we go into the email and accounts, you can find that here. Our next tip is to turn off push on email accounts that you don't really need to check that often. So for example, I don't check my Windows Live Hotmail very often, so I have it set to download new content every 30 minutes. Like I said in a previous episode, we have option to either push email every time a new email arrives, to check every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, or every hour. In this case, because I don't really need to check unless I actually choose to open up the application and check that way, I'm going to set it to manually. Now anytime I open up the application, it'll actually go in and check for new mail. Hit OK to approve that change. For Google, I'm going to do the same thing in this case, just because we're talking about battery savings. I personally like to have my Google email pushed, but like I say, if you can get away without push email, that will save you a lot of battery life. Now, another way to save your battery life is to actually go in and change the application-specific settings. So this is going to take a little bit more time, especially as you continue to add new applications to your Windows Phone 7. But if we slide over here in the settings menu into applications, we can see some different options here. Now some of these have options that will help us to save power. For example, if we go into maps, we can choose to turn off use my location. So you just want to go through and check some of the different applications that we have here. In this case, there's nothing we can do, but some of these applications, especially as you start adding new ones, you'll see new options kind of coming in. So for example, we can check out radio, see if there's anything that we can see that might save us some battery life here. In this case, pictures and camera, we can choose to turn off GPS data, which basically cuts out the whole GPS part of the equation and will save our battery life that way. So that's our final tip, is to go into settings, applications, and spend a little bit of time going through the different applications that you have installed to find out if there's any ways you can save battery life there. So those are a few battery-saving tips for Windows Phone 7. For How Do I on Butterscotch.com, I'm Andrew Moore Crispin. Thanks for watching.